Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Arrow episode 17 video. I know there were a lot of questions about the big WTFs, so I'll try to start with that stuff first before I do top 5 moments. Just careful for spoilers in case you haven't seen the episode yet. So the Suicide Squad rotated its membership. Unfortunately, Deadshot looks like he's out. Until we see his severed head, don't assume that he's dead completely, but I am wondering if they fridged the character because they're using Deadshot in the Suicide Squad movie. Remember, this is the comic book world. We have a Lazarus Pit. There's no such thing as true death. Not that I think that Lawton's going to end up in the Lazarus Pit. And with respect to Ray Palmer fighting with Team Arrow, just because they ended the episode on a positive note with respect to their relationship, I think Oliver and Ray are still going to have big disagreements about how each of them goes about seeking justice. Seriously, did anybody count the number of times Ray said the word justice? It makes me think the spin-off show is going to be Justice Society. That's a long shot though. Very big long shot. Okay, on to top 5 moments, fun stuff. Starting with number 5, Diggle and Lyla get married. Did anybody else get flashbacks to the Green Arrow Black Canary wedding from the comic books? That was so much fun. Their wedding night kind of ended in a similar way to what happened on the show. Not exactly. It all kind of goes to shit in a really big WTF way. If you haven't read it, you should check out that comic book. It's a lot of fun. I think I mentioned it before, but even though Oliver had a lot of funny moments with the other big ships that he's had on the screen, like moments with Felicity at the wedding, moments with Laurel at the wedding, I don't think that character is ever going to get married during this show's run. So like if Arrow gets 7 seasons, he still won't get married by season 7. There are just like a couple things that'll probably never happen on Arrow. Like for instance, Stephen Amell said that he's probably never going to get to go sleeveless. If you remember, the Smallville Green Arrow had like no sleeves. Stephen Amell's like, yeah, they're not going to let me do that, even if we move the show to LA. And he's probably not going to get married. Speaking of long shots though, I do think that Batman or Superman, or even both of them, will appear on Arrow in some capacity before it ends its run, assuming it gets more than 5 seasons. On to number 4, the Suicide Squad rides again. It was a nice moment in the limo, but the big reveal though is Cupid joining the team. Amy Gumenik, you may remember her from Supernatural, but I think it's her time on Arrow now that everyone's going to remember her for. I'd expect now that Deadshot has been cycled out of the team, she's probably going to take his place, so expect her to show up the next time the Suicide Squad shows up. She's also kind of a pseudo replacement for Harley Quinn. I think the minute Warner Brothers put a Suicide Squad movie on the books, just certain top tier characters, A-list characters, became off limits for the TV show, Harley Quinn being the biggest one. There's really no awesome explanation as to why the TV shows and why the movies can't do the same characters and just do their own versions of each. Mostly, I think Warner Brothers is worried that the TV show, like having them around on the TV show too much, will dilute the brand, thinking of said characters like Harley Quinn as brands in and of themselves. I know it sounds stupid, and it is stupid, but that's okay. It just gives them more opportunity to focus on the characters they already have. So, if you really like Cupid, we will be seeing more Cupid in the future. On to number 3, Hail Hydra Fake Arrows. Kill one, 2 rise in its place. Which is funny because I got done making an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video like right before Arrow started tonight. We know as the audience that it's Ra's al Ghul who's leading all these people around. They keep referring to it like it's one imposter, like it's one person. I think when they say there's an imposter, they're referring to the person that is leading all the imposters. But if there's any confusion, Team Arrow figures it out right away. They know exactly what's going on. They're like, oh, clearly this is Ra's al Ghul trying to entice me to take his offer. I'm always interested to see which WTF plot points that the narrative just speeds over, that the people just figure out right away, and which things become a big mystery that have to be solved over a couple episodes. Ray Palmer learning Oliver is the Arrow is another good example of that. On to number 2, Ray Palmer versus Oliver. I like the way they trap Felicity in the middle of this without going too crazy on her. Both Ray and Oliver are just like super surprised that Felicity has been keeping such a giant secret from each of them. But what's going on here is they don't want you to think that Ray Palmer is going to be fighting Oliver for the rest of the season. Yes, they will continue to have really big disagreements about crime fighting style. They just don't want you to think that they're going to be working against each other. Yes, I do think there will be an Atom team up with Team Arrow before he goes off on the spinoff, definitely before the finale. Team Arrow itself is going to change quite a bit. I don't think that Ray Palmer is ever going to officially be a member of Team Arrow. I do think he'll be inside the Arrow Cave at some point, but Mark Guggenheim explained that his character is going to develop apart from the Arrow characters. The spinoff, I think, is the big reason for that. They just want to show that this character can exist on his own, which is funny because the spinoff show is going to be a team-up show, so none of the characters on that show are going to be completely by themselves. I know a lot of people will be asking about the way Oliver took down the Atom. So I think the reason that he was able to do it so quickly is because the Atom is so inexperienced. It's like, yes, he has a badass suit, but if you remember Iron Man, when he first wore his suit, he was a pretty shitty superhero. I think by the time the spin-off show starts, by the time the pilot picks up, he'll be just as badass as everyone else. But until then, his body will continue to be bruised, as he said in the episode. I thought that was pretty funny. My ego and my body are both very bruised. Really, that whole fight scene between Arrow and the Atom was just meant to say, chill bro, we're both on the same side here. And my number one WTF moment, of course, Maceo kills the mayor that's going to spark a manhunt for the Arrow. A lot happened in that last scene, so here's what's going on. Ray Palmer and Laurel will still continue to think that Oliver's innocent. He's being framed, so they know instantly whoever's masquerading as the Arrow killed the mayor. Quentin, however, does not. He still thinks that the Arrow has gone bad, so he's going to lead a task force to hunt him down. That's what next episode's going to be about. It's called Public Enemy. The Arrow becomes Public Enemy number 1. Episode 19 is the one that everyone should be worried about. That's supposedly the episode when one of the characters is going to die. There's so many warning signs for so many different characters right now. I'd say the people at the top of my list are Roy, Quentin, and now Diggle. I know a lot of people were wondering if Lila was going to die because of what happened with the Suicide Squad plot. I'm kind of glad she didn't, but obviously them trying to quit both the teams is not going to go well. Interesting that Diggle did not mention that in his last meeting with Oliver. They toasted Deadshot, but they didn't talk at all about Diggle leaving the team. Episode 19 is titled Broken Arrow. That could be when Diggle tries to leave the team. But here's my big question for you guys. How do you want to see the Atom work with Team Arrow before the end of the season? Really what I'd like to see is like a crowd scene where the Atom uses his arc blaster to take out a bunch of people while Oliver handles Ra's al Ghul. Did anyone notice how much Oliver's been training with his sword? In each of the last couple of episodes, there's been a scene where Oliver is practicing with his sword. I think they just want to remind us that he's going to have a rematch, so to speak, with Ra's al Ghul before the end of the season. And speaking of rematches, Laurel said that she has a new trainer that's been roughing her up, a female trainer. Does anyone else think that that might be Thea? I don't know if they're bringing any new characters on the show. That's just why I say that. They haven't announced any other big comic book characters they've cast. And of all the females on the show that could help train Laurel, I think Thea's at the top of the list. I think I already mentioned most of the Easter eggs. Green Arrow, Black Canary wedding was the biggest one. And, just because Deadshot is dead on the TV show right now doesn't mean he's dead forever. Although I do like the Hive shout out, like he flashes back. I'm actually wondering if Emily Kinney's character on The Flash in episode 18 is going to be part of Hive. It just seems like they're developing the Hive storyline, and that's going to be like a season 4 thing. I really do feel like Hive is going to be where the big bad comes from in season 4, like the place they originate from. So next week, episode 18, Public Enemy. Be sure to subscribe to get my video. I'm doing a Q&A for the Flash and Arrow this week. I know there's tons of questions about time travel, a lot of Flash stuff going on, as well as what's going on with the Ra's al Ghul League of Assassins storyline on Arrow. So be sure to leave all your questions. While you guys wait for that, in case you guys haven't seen it, I just posted my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video for this week. You can click here to watch that, learn all about like some teases for Captain America Civil War, some seeds being laid for like S.H.I.E.L.D. versus S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff, and you can click here for this week's episode of The Flash. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you tomorrow.